Hello beautiful souls, welcome to my channel. My name is Sanja. Today we're going to be doing part 2 of questions of how to fall in love with someone else, which I think we've proven time and time again that you don't necessarily fall in love with someone, but you do know about them more and understand more about them. Before we even start, this video might be triggering to some, so skip it if you are lightly triggered or whatever. So there is part 1 that I'll link down below, and like in the previous video, I'll link the questions underneath what I've answered in this video. So if you want to participate and answer even just one of them, it would be nice to know a bit more about you. So let's start the second part. What roles do love and affection play in your life? Big. I mean, I think everyone should be like that, even if it's toward themselves. If you don't know how to love yourselves, again, I have a video about that, link it down below, on how to love yourself, because I think it's really important to have the tools to learn about it more. You know, people would say, you know, learn to love yourself, love yourself, but no one, not, maybe there are some people, but you know, they don't actually tell you how to. And I have a video on how to, because I think it's really important to love yourself first as well, and also to love others, to be more affectionate about others. Can you imagine if everyone would go from a point of view of love, how different this world would be? Not like in partnership, in that relationship love, but just love in general, love towards life, love towards other people, love just towards everything. Yeah, big roles. Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. Share a total of 5 items. Well, I don't have another person in front of me. But if I were to do it for my actual partner, would be, I don't know, I just find him cute, very smart, very capable. Like, the guy, whatever it's in the house that needs to be done, he just does it. I remember once my daughter broke drawer in the kitchen, and there's like a special mechanism drawer, you know, when you pushed it, it just doesn't, you know, roll slowly, whatever you do to it, you know, there's a mechanism to it with some wheels, and I mean, I don't know what what's it made of. And I'm like, it's broken, like the thing fell off and it's not working anymore, and I don't even know what she did, whether she pulled it too hard, I don't know. And he just said, wait, I'll fix it. And he did it. The roof was leaking. He's like, I'll just go on it. He fixed it. Like, anything that needs to be sorted out, he either knows who to call, but usually he just does it himself anyway. And I love that. It's nice to have a handy man that is, you know, I think that's how I was raised as well. My father and my brothers always knew everything about everything, even parts of, I don't know how to fix a washing machine, but obviously if it were a bit more complicated than that, then you know, they would call someone else. But you know, if a faucet needs changing, like that little rubber thing, whatever it's called in English, they would know how to do it. Even I learned how to do that. So yeah, I grew up with men that are handy, that know what to do, how to do things around the house. And even recently, my mum, she just had a drink of water on her tap, and like the whole tap fell off and the water just started spraying everywhere. She called me to tell me this, I wasn't there, but she just immediately called my dad, and he wasn't there. He went out in the woods hunting, and she's like, I don't know what to do. And the thing where you had to do the water to, you know what I mean, to stop it all together was rusty. So, you know, he told her where to go, what to get, how to do it, you know, and she just did it. He called his brother that was near there, you know, to just in case if if she isn't able to do it, you know, to come and help. So again, always grew up with men knowing how to do things, and even if they're not there, at least to call them, and then they'll let you know how to do it and what to do. So my partner is the same. So I have 3. 4, he's funny, can make me laugh. And 5, oh, comes to mind now. I mean, I love his physical appearance, but I did tell you he's cute. So, and again, I'm not gonna share anything that it's like too private. But I don't know, he likes taking care of himself. I like that. I know there are, you know, people that are maybe men that are maybe messy. Not that he's not messy, but like to the point he's not. Yeah, he never stinks. Like he likes having a shower and, you know, looking after himself, and yeah, so I don't know, he's neat in that sense, you know, looking after himself. I like that. So yeah. How close and warm is your family? Do you feel your childhood was happier than most other people's? Close with certain family members. With certain family members, I cut them off completely, the communication. But I think I've mentioned this in one of the videos. Like if they called me, texted me, said, I need your help, or, you know, it's urgent or whatever, I would just say, come, you know, I would help them out. But that does not mean I have to stay in touch with them. So my childhood, I think, was rather great till 7.5 years of age, something like that. How old was I when the war started? Something like that, 7.5-ish. So the first 7.5 years, I mean, not that I remember it, you know, because usually those first few years we don't remember anyway, but, you know, as far as I can remember, and the pictures that I've seen and the stories from others, and yeah, was really, really great. After that, slowly started going down. So, you know, whether my childhood was happy or not depends on how long you know, would rate the childhood. If you rate it to like, I don't know, 18 or something, then probably not. Definitely not. How do you feel about your relationship with your mother? Great. Like in between filming, I speak with when one day passes by that we don't speak to one another, we're like, oh, we didn't share so much. I haven't heard from you since ages. We speak almost every single day. Not every day, but like almost every, I don't know, maybe out of, let's say, 30 days in a month, let's say 30, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 days out of those we don't speak. So almost every day we speak. I don't know, I love my mum. And the things she had to go through with our dad and still be as sane as she is. Hats down. Make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room feeling... Again, this is supposed to be done with another person, so I don't know. I have to say I. Or let's say we are feeling the best ever. We're feeling in the process of becoming the best version of ourselves, and we love this life. Let's do it like that. Complete this sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share... I don't know. I think I've shared everything with at least someone. No. I could share what? I wish I had someone with whom I could share. I don't know, maybe it would be nice to have someone doing this with me. I don't know, maybe have another person doing the videos. But I mean, in terms of sharing my thoughts and stuff like that, there was at least one person that I share that with. Or maybe something I don't remember, but yeah, I don't know. If you were going to become a close friend with your partner, please share what would be important for him or her to know. Same as I did with friendship. Honesty, straightforwardness, not bickering, not throwing tantrums. Even if we have a debate, to have a healthy debate, because no one is gonna always feel the same way for every single thing. But, you know, to be able to share our opinions, share our perspective without attacking each other, without verbally saying nasty things, without being like upset now, because, you know, I think that comes from growing up with that type of a father, that he was always so childish in that sense, like not emotionally intelligent enough to grasp the fact of because you have a different opinion, and or I have a different opinion that yours, does not mean that you're wrong, does not mean that I think low of you, does not mean anything like that. I have a video, I'll link that one down below, that diversity is awesome. If all of us would think the same, do the same things, nothing would change, everything would be boring. The fact that we have choices nowadays, that we don't have to think the same, and we can be all right with, I don't know, let's say you having different opinion than mine, without, how dare you not thinking like me, or attacking you, or, it's just, okay, you have that opinion, I have mine, great, we can share our perspectives, we can go into details, if we want to, in that sort of like healthy debate, like, why do I think that is, for me, logical, and for me it makes sense, then you would do your part. If you want to go further, we can. If we don't, but just healthy communication. It's just that simple. Just, yeah. I think that also needs to go down to a lot of healing, and, because obviously people get triggered nowadays over so many ridiculous things. I say ridiculous. Obviously, there's a reason behind the triggers, and the triggers show you where you're not free and where you need to work on yourself. But I mean, come on. Like, again, like my father throwing tantrums over nothing, or like silent treatment now for days because, I don't know, we went to visit our grandma and you weren't there, we didn't call you to go visit her, and she's not even your mom. But that happened to my brother, my sister-in-law, and my mum. They went out, my father wasn't at home, they just went to visit my grandma, which was she's 5 minutes walking, to walk to her place away. They went to see her, came back. In the meantime, my father was there at home, and he asked them, where were you? And they said, we just went to, visit the grandma, because my brother and my sister-in-law live in a different country, so they just came there for a few days. He literally gave them the silent treatment. He didn't want to speak to them because he wasn't invited. He can see that my grandma, my mum's mum, anytime he wants, and he wasn't there. He was giving them silent treatment because he was not invited to go and see them with them together. And there are so many countless examples like that, probably even forgot the majority of them, but it's just that sort of not emotionally intelligent, and to get triggered by such trivial things, for me, it's just insane. And I think also, first, growing up with him, second, part of my childhood, not a lot of my childhood, but I did grow up in war. So, people were bombing us and whatnot, and you get the appreciation of those, and you realize what's actually important and what things are not important, and getting triggered by that, or being unhappy, again, because of some silly things, or just spending your time pouting or throwing tantrums or being unhappy. And we can do better than that. And there was a post recently when someone said, oh, I feel such an anxiety for putting the washing in the washing machine, and I had to make a system because, I have an anxiety about it. And I'm not saying anything against the people that have an anxiety about it. I'm just saying, growing up in a war when people were bombing us, me growing up with a father that was like, my mum's fourth child, and the brat of the family, if you wish, you just realize you don't want to be like that. And it's just the washing, like, chuck it in the washing machine. When it's done, you dry what you can. If it, it's not that important to like have anxiety over washing. Like, for me, that's just ridiculous. Or like, my partner the other day, I didn't make the bed once in a million years. You didn't make the bed. And I'm like, okay, I'll make it. Like, didn't shoot anyone in your family. And he's like, that's not, hard thing to do. And I know, I forgot. I just wasn't upstairs. Like, it's just making the bed. Like, for me, those little things to get upset over, not that he was now upset or, having a go at me for ages or giving me silent treatment. No, when I said, like, I'm like, chill, it's just bed. The bedding, like, so you know, I hoovered, I made lunch, I had ill child on my plate, I did everything else downstairs, I mopped, I cleaned the kitchen, you know, everything is spotless downstairs. The fact that I didn't go upstairs, that I forgot to make the bed, it's just, you know, like stupid. So when I am just telling you this, to try next time when you get upset over something, to actually ask yourself, is this really worth getting upset about? There are much important, or why am I getting triggered by this? Where do I need to heal? What do I need to, maybe there's a part of me that I'm embarrassed about. Maybe this is the way I was treated, and now I'm getting all of this rubbish out because that's how I was taught that I should, you know, behave and how I should see things. But maybe I should change that. If this is, you know, maybe even a minute of me getting upset is robbing me of a minute being happy, make sure that whatever is upsetting you is, you know, to some extent, let's say, valid. Because if it's not life-threatening, if it's not hurting anyone, if it's, you know, something like that, then is it really, really, you know, worth getting upset about certain things? Now we, you know, there you go. This is who someone has to live with. But yeah, my happiness is always, not always, but the majority of times, number one thing. And again, if I do get triggered, I'm like, why did I get triggered by this? What's happening? And then even if I can't put it in a certain memory, I just think, okay, maybe this is how I was treated, because my daughter triggers me sometimes. Not that often, but you know. And I'm like, why did this get, you know, why did I get upset about this? And then I think maybe, don't remember it, but I would assume that maybe when I was younger, the years that I don't remember, someone was treating me like that, and maybe I just burst out because I thought that's the way someone should be, you know, treating that certain behavior. And then I'm like, this isn't really worth me getting upset over. So, you know, if I do certain things without thinking about it, obviously I apologize, hug, make sure to let my daughter know it's not her fault that mommy is upset, because, you know, mommy's the one who got herself upset. And that's something that people are a bit like, no, but they got me upset. No, you chose to give them the power to control you, and you gotta, you know, that's a different video anyway. If you were going to become a close friend with your partner, please share what would be important. Yeah, that was it. Honesty, straightforwardness, not bickering and stuff. Tell your partner what you like about them. Be very honest this time. Be very honest this time. Like I wasn't honest the first time around. Saying things that you might not say to someone you've just met. Again, we'll skip it. Let's say that's private. I did do this test with him, but again, 6 years ago. I think I moved to England then, let's say around 5 years ago. And that's why I don't even remember these questions. Share with your partner an embarrassing moment in your life. Ooh. This is a tough one, because not many things am I embarrassed about. Maybe other people were embarrassed that I was there. What am I embarrassed at? Well, I'm not saying I'm embarrassed. However, I think a lot of people would find this embarrassing. I found it rather funny. And I'm actually not, I'm just sharing it because someone would be really embarrassed. And I just found it hilarious. So we had in our high school a lot of stairs, a lot, like to the 4th level. I mean, not a lot, but you know, there were a lot. And I, at the time, did not have money to buy a second pair of trainers, and we needed trainers for our PE. So whenever we would have PE, I would get some other shoes out and would get those trainers, because we always had to have a bag with our trainers to show before we got into a class, whether we have them or not. And if you didn't have the trainers, you wouldn't be able to go in. Whether you had trainers on your feet or not doesn't matter. You needed like a spare shoes that are not the shoes that you're wearing at that moment. And I got these heels that were, I don't know, something cheap, right? I'm not even remembering much how I got them, but they were like velvet highish heel shoe, and they must have been something like on sale or something, and I got them. And those, and I had another pair that I would wear when I had PE, because again, I needed a pair of trainers and I didn't have any other. So, and it was sort of like a way for me to learn how to walk in heels. It was that, part of my life when I wanted to know. So anyway, I also, the thing that someone should know about me is when I was growing up, I was proper foodie. Like, I could eat for 10 people and was not fat. Let's just say it like that. I wasn't necessarily the thinnest out of all of them, but And I was carrying a sandwich and was going downstairs. And I don't know how it happened, but my heel broke. And I was literally going like this, going down the stairs on my bum, carrying the sandwich in one hand and making sure the sandwich doesn't get destroyed or it doesn't fall on the ground or something like that. And there was, I think, one of my friend was there, and chemistry professor. In high school we call them professors. I know in English it's different, but in high school we call them professors. And I literally was like that, going down the stairs, and she's like, you know what? And again, my heel broke. Like I couldn't use them anymore. But what was so funny about it was that my professor said, she's like, I can't believe you were going up, down all those stairs, because my heel broke maybe on the second or the third step, and there were like at least 20 to go, if not even more. And she's like, and one thing you were, making sure about is that your sandwich remains intact. And then you save your sandwich, not yourself, but save your sandwich. And I found it so funny. Again, I was not embarrassed. I was just like, how am I going to walk in, now? I don't know what I did afterwards, whether I changed into my trainers or whether whether we already had pee or not. I can't remember that, but I remember my professor's comment. Like, I can't believe you were making sure your sandwich is, you save that. You're not stopping yourself from going down even further, but, guarding the sandwich. So yeah, again, not embarrassing moment, because I really don't get embarrassed that easily. I do have one embarrassing moment, but it's too private. I can't share it, and involves someone else as well, so I can't. But apart from that one that I can't share, I don't know. Usually I'm really, really hard to get embarrassed, or even maybe there is an embarrassing moment, but I just don't remember it because it's not maybe that important or something. But when I thought about, I think a lot of, if this were to happen to any other of the girls my age at the time, they would probably be proper embarrassed, because they were embarrassed for far less things than that. But for me, it was just hilarious. And it happened to me, but it was just funny. I was like, the heel broke, I fell down the stairs, not the first time I fell. So yeah, that was a good memory, right? I forgot about that. This is really cool. When did you last cry in front of another person or by yourself? I don't know. I do cry a lot, rather easily. Like, there can be a song that is the happiest song, or it doesn't have to be sad. It can have the best lyrics. Sometimes it's just the melody of the song. It's so good that I cry. Like, it's so nice. There are a lot of things that make me cry, but I don't think it was this morning. Could be day before yesterday, maybe. I don't really remember because I cried it often. I don't really take notes, but it must have been something recent. I don't remember if I cried yesterday, but yeah, I do cry a lot. Like, if you were to play me, let's say, The Greatest Showman, the film, like, every time some music plays, any song in that film, and they're, good songs, happy songs, joyful songs, I cry. And again, when its song is really nice, especially if I were now to start to sing a beautiful song, I start weeping. Not to mention, like, if there's a sad something sad or something like that. So yeah. Well, maybe day before yesterday. And then again, my daughter would ask me, Mom, why are you crying? And then I would tell her, whether I'm sad or whether I'm happy, whether, I wanted to know. So yeah, it's usually, I don't really pay attention much, but she's usually around. So yeah. Tell your partner something that you like about them already. There were like 3 questions. Is this how people fall in love? You give them a lot of compliments and they're like, oh. Tell your partner something that you like about them. You know what I like about people in general? I love people's smile. I don't like when people have a fake laugh. And a lot of people have lovely laughs. So I love when someone has a nice laugh. There are people who laugh, I would say maybe even genuinely, but it sounds fake, and I don't like that. But when someone has a nice smile, when they're laughing like from the heart, I like that in whoever it is, whether it's my friend, whether it's in any person. Yeah, I love that. What, if anything, is too serious to be joked about? Anything, again, I don't know, abuse related, or where children are suffering, or I think just the logical things. Anyone suffering, I don't even like when, I don't know, someone hurts themselves. There are a lot of those videos when people hurt themselves and people like ha 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 ha, and I'm thinking they're in proper pain. Like, if they're fine, if you can see even they're laughing, they're rubbing it off, great. But if they're not good, or they don't show if this person is okay or not, or now I'm just wondering, I'm hoping they're okay, whatever, I hope they didn't break anything, I can't laugh at that either. So if it's anyone's pain, anyone's suffering, anyone's abuse, I don't think that's something to be joked about. I always send them love. I always send them healing. You can wish them well. You don't have to now worry or like, say anything bad about it, but also not being joked about. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? Why haven't you told them yet? This is something that I was thinking about years ago. Whether there was a video that made me aware of it or something like that. And I even to this day make sure the last thing I tell to my daughter is I love you. I even wrote my partner, I love you, just a random, we didn't text before, we did nothing, I just wrote I love you. That's it. Always when I speak to my mum, sending kisses, I love you. My grandma, love you. The last thing I want to say, even when I put my daughter to bed, good night, I love you. Not I love you, good night. Good night, I love you. So I always try and make sure, even when I take her to school, last thing, love you, bye, love you. So I really do try not to have regrets. Also, probably one of the reasons why I don't want to fight with anyone. We never know what tomorrow will bring. If I'm in person with someone, not over the phone, if I'm saying bye, I always make sure I get the hug, like the biggest hug, like it's the last hug. And, those certain moments, and also, texting with people, having video calls with people if I can, it is something that maybe you can be aware of, to tell your loved ones what you feel, to not have those types of regrets. So I don't know if I would have any regret in that sense. Even, like I said, there are a lot of people that transition to non-physical, and when you think, for instance, one of my grandfather's last words were, "You are an angel." And whenever you think about those last words, you're like, he told me I was an angel. Like, I don't know why. He's never called me an angel before that, keep in mind. Never. Maybe he shared other words, maybe, but never has he called me an angel. And for his last words to be, "You're an angel," it's just, those moments like that are just you know, I can't even describe how amazing they are. So I always make sure people know how I feel about them. If I'm getting upset over something, I really try to get over it like in 5 minutes or as quickly as possible, you know, get it through my system, get it out of my body if it needs to get out. But I don't want to be upset over, you know, at anyone. I don't want to bicker with anyone, fight with anyone. Last words, I always want them to be lovely. So whatever happens, if something happens, you know, I love you. It's always the not the safest way, you know. You tell them, the last thing you told them is how you feel about them. So I don't know. That's, yeah. I always tell everyone how I feel. Which, again, if you don't do that, maybe start practicing if you need to, and then do it. Your house containing everything you own catches fire after saving your loved ones and pets. We don't have pets, but okay. You have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item. What would it be? Why? You know what? I thought about this before. It would be my bag, because we have all IDs, like everything, you know, just that bag I would just carry, because it's not the money, it's not the any of that, but the trouble you have to go through to get, you know, the ID and all of these documents. I don't know why, but I'm thinking, I was thinking about one of my great uncle's daughter. She asked me this question once, and apparently it's like not the thing that you should be saving anything from the house. Like literally you should just go and leave everything. But I'm thinking I could not just not grab my bag. And she's like, I know I'm the same, but like apparently you're not supposed to be saving any item. But yeah, I would just grab my bag, and I wouldn't have to worry about that later. Like I have my IDs, and that's the main thing. So yeah, that would be why. That's the reason why. You know, it would be a bit, you know, I don't even think about the photo albums. I don't even think, which probably I should, but that's the like automatic reaction. That was it, like that. 35, so we have 2 more questions left. Of all the people in your family, whose death would you find most disturbing? Why? Well, obviously if something were to happen to my daughter, I mean, that's obvious, but let's skip that, because hopefully we'll all die and she'll still live. And my mum, I can't see the day where she's not in the physical. I can't. And I think for obvious reasons why. But I'll tell you, one of the most ones that were, what they call it, disturbing, that happened was my grandpa, my mum's dad, when he passed away. That was the most disturbing. That's when I was 7.5, 8ish, because he was like like my father. I know he was a grandfather, but he was my father figure, because at that time my father wasn't really around, and which I didn't even, you know, it didn't bother me. My brothers, however, found it hard that my father wasn't around. But I had my mum's dad, and I didn't find anything that was missing. You know, when we talked about when we were older, again, my brothers found it like, you know, dad was never around, whatnot. I didn't feel that. Again, probably because of that my grandpa was there. And he was sort of like my father. I just spent a lot of time with him. He would take me to school. We went to countryside together with him and my grandma. I have so many lovely memories. And because of the war, they wouldn't operate on people. And he had cancer, because obviously, if, you know, we had electricity restrictions, if the bomb falls and they're in the middle of the surgery and the electrics go, and, you know, all that jazz. So they didn't do surgeries, and they couldn't operate on my grandpa on his cancer, and he passed away, and that was it pretty much. So that death I found the most disturbing. And yeah, when I had that first question, if anyone in the world, if I were to include even the non-physical, would I meet with, would be him. also he was one of the first ones to go, let's call it like that. So that one was the most disturbing, and since then we've lost so many. But I don't know, I think just because I was seeing a father figure in him, probably that's why I was the most attached to him. Share a personal oh, this is the last question. Wow. Share a personal problem and ask your partner's advice. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys on how he or she might handle it. Also ask your partner to reflect back to you how you seem to be feeling about the problem you have chosen. Now this is a tricky one. I don't know what the problem is. What problem can it be? Oh, this is a hard one because I don't know. I'm really focused on solution oriented person. So if I would have to choose a problem, I'm not really. Okay. Choose a problem. I don't know. Can you guys ask me a problem? And then we can just all try and figure it out. Problem. See, I'm not someone who's seeking problems. No, I can't. You know what? I probably should have looked at these questions before. Like I said, I knew two at the start, but I knew the first one and I knew about the ability one, but I didn't know any of these questions. Like I said, I forgot about them, and I probably should have thought about this before. Not a clue. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, I'm thinking some, ridiculous things like getting stains out of a fabric or, but I don't know what the share a personal problem. I'm even thinking like my daughter doesn't like brushing her hair, but I managed to do it last night, which is hurrah. I don't know. You let me know if you have any personal problems, and then and you can ask me how I would handle it. Because I don't know what problem should I give you guys. If you have any suggestions on giving someone a personal problem, if let's say this is a problem, I've sorted this problem out, but let's say this is a problem, and I think that's it. Let me just check. I even went out, but yeah, then it says, congratulations, you've answered all the questions. Now for the hard part, in order to solidify your love, you have to look into your partner's eyes for 4 minutes in silence. It's hard and you will squirm, I don't know, but you'll learn an incredible amount. Good luck. Yeah, you just look in one eye as opposed to try to look at both. It's fine, it's not hard. So a problem, let's say they are used to have, is how to deal with family members that are not good for my mental health, let's say it like that. And I just stopped communication with them. So I don't know how maybe you guys would handle it. But again, this sounds harsh. The thing is, when you try to, try everything you can for years, and you've given it your all, and you're still giving your all for years, and it's not working, and years are years. When you say it like this, it might sound like, oh, you've given up too easily. No, I did not. And when they keep stabbing you in the back, when they keep letting you know you're not supposed to have communication with them, in the end you just learn to just remove them from your life, block them, delete them, mute them, let them know you're not going to communicate with them in whatever form you find the best. I just don't tolerate these things anymore. Like I said, I don't like trauma. I maybe in films, but in real, when you see certain, even Friends, because the majority of people know the show Friends, when you see what they're going through, when you see their reactions, when you see, I'm like, I would never do this in real life. Show Sex and the City, like when we were younger, everyone wanted to be one of them. Like, you know, one wanted to be Carrie, one wanted to be Samantha, one wanted, and I was like, I don't want to be any of them. Like, I don't have that personality. I don't want that drama. I don't want it. Obviously, you need something to happen in order for you to watch the show. In order, if everything was lovey-dovey, all good, nothing's, you know, everything is perfect, then that film would not last for 2 hours or an hour and a half, or, you know, it would be short. Like, we're all great, we're all good, we do lovely things, bye. And, you know, so we don't have films or shows like that. But, you know, in that sense, I don't like the drama. I don't like in real life. I don't like any like that happening. I'm not that type of a person. And, you know, I like to get things resolved. If the person, if I give my all and it's not working, then it's best for us to just part our own ways and not communicate anymore. Again, not in a bad way, not just, you know, part ways. Same with friendships. I have removed many people from my life that, you know, claimed, but I'm thinking, if they're not friends to me, then I'm probably not a friend to them for expecting certain things of them. This is why it's really important for you to have list of what I would look in a soul partner, of what I would think the friendship should be like, how I should and my family members should be towards each other. And then obviously, if to communicate that with the other person as well, you know, what are you expecting? Is, you know, your list, your definition of friendship or of partnership, or, you know, matching with mine? Can we work on something? And so on. So yeah, I think that's the biggest issue today. You know, how to deal with them. Just do what you can and build you the way you want to, and don't try to convince them in something. Just grow, work on yourself as often as you can. Put yourself first, love yourself, treat yourself. Like, even if treating yourself means sitting 5 minutes in silence, like, just not, you know, no one's disturbing you, not talking to anyone, not, you know, resting your brain, just something for yourself, exercising for 5 minutes. You know, you don't have to treat yourself by anything that's gonna be costing you money or something like that. So yeah, maybe I'll ask you that question: how do you deal with toxic people that are not good for your mental health? But I did share now how I did it, and that worked for me. I tried everything else. Prior to that, I tried to be someone else. I tried to be different. I tried to play by their rules. I tried everything, and not even then, nothing was working. So, or they would want more or add more, or, you know, would depend on me and my achievements for their own happiness, where happiness comes from within, from us. So yeah, let that be the question for you guys. How do you deal with, if, again, not that is my problem anymore, but yeah, let's put that out in the universe and for you guys. Love you so much. I'm really hoping you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.